Hey guys, welcome back to Living with Lo. It's been a minute, and when I say a minute, it's been a long time. I feel like I went from going into my labor and delivery to literally postpartum, and there was so much I wanted to share with you guys that I wasn't able to share. Some of you may know when I went in for labor and delivery, I did the COVID test, that of which came back negative. Okay, and when I had the baby, everything was great. I was feeling fine, and I actually asked if I could go home the next day, which they were perplexed. They were like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? Like, you want to leave after having a major surgery? And I was like, I feel fine. And my OB checked me out. She charged me out, said I was okay to go, and I had the ultimate experience. I'm gonna definitely get into that. I cannot wait to share my labor and delivery experience with you guys, but I definitely want to get on here and share and just let you guys know I am back. You'll definitely be seeing Babe a lot very soon, so I cannot wait to share Deuce. So his name is James Grant Jr., but we do call him Deuce as a nickname as opposed to Junior. So yeah, anywho's, he is great, the family's well, and I cannot wait, like I said, to get into the labor and delivery experience. But I want to just say, first things first, after coming home, maybe a few days later, I started experiencing these super crazy like sensations of pressure in my head, and I was like, okay, what's happening? I was kind of feeling out of it, but I was trying to like just doing it like, okay, I just had major surgery, maybe it's a lot going on right now with my system, like being overloaded, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it easy. I kind of was feeling a little lethargic, and I didn't know what to think of it, so I actually started feeling like I was coming down with a cold. So in that respect, I was just like, you know what, let me take it easy, but let me also you know, protect myself and, you know, protect others. So I was trying to mask up just because, like I said, I didn't want to get the baby sick. I thought I had a common cold. Comes to find out, I had a post-op appointment literally like a week later, and I was just like, okay, not a week later from when I started feeling the symptoms, maybe like a day or two prior, or yeah, after. So I was feeling a little crazy, but I was just like not thinking anything of it, and I had my post-op appointment. So we live almost 2 hours away from my OB, so we were traveling, we were trying to get there, and there was an accident, y'all, in the tunnel. We had to go through like a tunnel to get to the other side of town. Long story short, it's a 2-lane tunnel. It was blocked off, so we wound up trying to get around it. And I called my OB. I was literally like right up the street, like I'm saying a light away from making it within my 15-minute grace period. So once I got there, they informed me that you know, my doctor keeps a really strict schedule, so that they weren't able to see me after all of that travel. Now, we did have the newborn, we did you know, we did travel a long ways, but I went in, I talked to the reception, which is, they are always so kind, so sweet. They're all like, I love them. Like they're like, whenever I call for my appointments, they're like, oh my God, Lauren, you're coming in, make sure you know, blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, they're great. But I understood, and they said, hey, just try and come back the next morning. Could you do that? And I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. I definitely need to see a doctor, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, I literally, it took a turn for the worse. I was feeling so much more sluggish. I was feeling so much more lethargic. The pressure in my head was intense. And like I said, I had cold symptoms, so I had like phlegm in my throat. And I was just like, okay, what is happening right now? So literally got to the appointment, and everything checked out fine. She checked my incision site, and she said it was healing the way it should. And I actually asked her, I was just like, could you check my lungs? For whatever reason, I asked her to check my lungs, and she said they sounded clear and fine. But when it came time to them checking my pressure, y'all, my pressure was so high that I don't know how it is for you guys whenever you do your postpartum checks, but if your pressure is high, that could be a sign of preeclampsia. It's a symptom. So they checked it, it was high, and I thought it was attributed to just me being excited to be back in the office, because I always get super, not to say nervous, but I get, you know, I get wound up. So all that to be said, they just said, you know what, let's wait a few minutes, I'll check your pressure again. Check my pressure again. It was slightly less high, but it was still over 150. I think it was like 155 over 70 at that point. And they were like, no, we definitely want to make sure it goes down before you leave, because before we send you somewhere else, because if it doesn't go down, you're just gonna have to go over to the hospital so that they can check you out. And I was just like, oh my God. So obviously my anxiety is just like through the roof. And I'm saying anxiety, but my pressure, I feel like it went up even higher. I think the highest, the third time they checked, it was like 170. I want to say 170, 171. And that's extremely high. So I begged and pleaded if they could just wait a few more minutes, see if it goes down. But my OB wound up coming back, and then she was just like, no, we can't waste any more time. We're gonna go ahead and send you over to the ED, which is the ER. And that's where I went. They did an EKG. They checked my pressure. It still hadn't gone down at that point. It had been maybe like 30 minutes. So they admitted me. And so obviously I wanted to go home. I wanted to see my newborn, and I was so happy that my mom actually came in town to help out, because my baby and my daughter were actually here with her. So all that to be said, I went into the ER. They admitted me. I thought I was staying the night. I actually stayed almost, what, 2-3 days. So it was intense. So there they did another COVID test upon, you know, charging me in. They did, they took a picture of my lungs. They also did a lot of blood work, paneling and such. So maybe an hour into me being admitted, I got all this work done, and they were actually having trouble tapping my veins. I had a really slow drip, and they were scared they were gonna blow them. And with me, I'm super sensitive to needles. My body type, my body was like working overload already. So I was just like, hey guys, could you just use a butterfly needle? And I don't know if you guys know, but those are like the little bitty tiny ones that they use on like kids and stuff like that. So that's what they wound up doing, and it worked thankfully. But I had to get ports in both my arms. It was crazy insane. Come to find out, y'all, I was tested positive for COVID. And they also found an acute pneumonia in my lower right lung. And then on top of all of that, they also said I had post-eclampsia. Basically, I had extreme swelling that was also attributing to the pressure that was going on in my head that they were trying to get down. And at this point, I'm super nervous, because you know, when you're testing positive for COVID, your partners are generally not allowed to come into the room with you because they don't want to expose anyone else. And they told me I was going to be going to an isolated suite, y'all. Yes, an isolated suite. And that made me so nervous, and I was like literally in tears. I was just like, oh my God. They told me that I had pneumonia and post-eclampsia. So at this point, I was admitted, and I was so happy to see the nurse that I actually had in the birthing suite on the wing where I was in isolation, because she was so awesome. And the first thought that came to my head was just like, oh my gosh, I've been around my family, I've been around the baby. He's a newborn at that point. He was only 9 days old, and I just knew in my head, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give him COVID. Like, I could have possibly exposed him, and it was scaring me, because you know, with newborns, there's nothing that they can do, y'all. So I just had so much going on in my head. And through it all, Jay, my husband, was literally by my side. He refused to leave. And I'm not saying refusing to the staff, but refusing me, because I was telling him, I was just like, listen, he tested negative, and I was just like, I don't want to get you sick, I don't want you around. And I was literally having the hardest time breathing. The cough was super intense, like my throat was raw at this point. I was spitting up so much mucus. And the nursing staff told me, you know, it's funny, we were going back and forth, like having conversation, because all of my family was just like telling me, like, calm down, try to, you know, relax, and you know, do these things. And it's so easy to think that you can, you know, get your body to relax in these moments, but my body was doing its own thing. At this point, there was nothing that I could do, you know, and I was trying to tell the nurses, I was like, they were telling me to relax, and I'm trying to relax, and I'm trying to, get well, and my body was just like not allowing it to happen. I was just like, what's happening, body? So all that to be said, with all of that, right? So the nurses was like, yeah, basically you just have to let it run its course. So they wound up putting me on a 24-hour magnesium drip, and they were just basically saying they didn't want me to stroke out. They didn't want to have me have a stroke, burst any blood vessels in my brain. And at this point, I heard that and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was so severe. Like it was so many things happening at one time. So they were on the clock giving me all kinds of different meds. They gave me the azithromycin, which is the antibiotic for the pneumonia, and they started me on a 3-day, but when I wound up getting charged out, they gave me 5 more days of the medicine. And they also just told me like, hey, try to relax, try to move around a little bit, just to, you know, keep everything flowing. Also stay hydrated. And the most important thing that they could have told me, just in finding out that I had got COVID, was to give the baby the breast milk. Now I was freaking out because I was just like, I don't want to breastfeed and have them underneath me breathing. Obviously they told me to mask up. I was wearing like, no lie to y'all, I was wearing 3 masks at one time, and that was so difficult, especially with having difficulty breathing already. So I was wearing the mask literally almost 24 hours a day, and I was like, you know, everybody was in shifts kind of like helping out with the baby. So it was definitely an experience. And I will definitely be getting more into anything that you guys want to see. I really not to say regret not being able to share more with you guys, especially as it relates to us getting home, the first 24 hours with baby, things of that nature. But you know what, I can't, you know, I got the cards I was dealt and I was just trying to like go with it. But I definitely miss you all, and I cannot wait to hear how everyone has been. I know a few of you mamas out there have had the babies, so share some great news with me. Let me know how your experience was. Like I said, I'll definitely be getting into my labor and delivery experience really soon. I can't wait to get that to you this week. So if there's anything else that you want to be seeing in the next coming weeks, definitely let me know and I will be uploading it for y'all. Okay, like I said, I miss y'all. I'm sending hugs, and I want to say a special shout out to everyone that has been pouring in so much love, uplifting me, praying for me, especially in the time where I was most uncertain. Y'all don't know how much that brought me up. Like I was literally like, y'all, they're praying for me. I was super excited. I was telling my husband, I was like, that y'all just don't know how much that meant to me. That was everything. Virtual hugs to all of you. I can't express that enough. So with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and close it on now. I can't wait to get to the next video, and like I said, share more with you guys and share Deucey. All right, so yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys really soon. If you haven't already, definitely make sure to go ahead and smash the subscribe button, and also click on the bell notification if you haven't already, so that you are notified whenever I do put out new content. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.